I was doing my treatments until the end of December, and then for my lumbar punctures, I actually had to have 6 instead of the 1, and they couldn't do them all in the hospital just because sometimes my numbers were a little bit low. So I ended up having to do the last couple of them in January. My last one was the 17th of January, and since then, I've been kind of okay. I'll explain more in a bit. So that was like the last, those 6 months, and then there's been these entire other now 8 months where things have also been really different. Sorry, my mom's really high. And during that year, I had the privilege of taking a workshop with Thea, and this workshop started maybe a week or two right before I was diagnosed, and we just ended a couple weeks ago, and that's been really life-changing. Aside from everything else that's been life-changing, that has added a lot more to everything. And one of the things we discussed a lot was illusions and the things that we think that are true and that aren't true, that don't even exist. And I realized that after cancer, one of the things that I thought were true was that I was easily destructible, and I felt like I was breaking, and there was all of the different things, all of the different factors after chemo felt like my life was even more in shambles than it was before. So then I wrote a poem. I started writing this poem a couple of times, and at first I titled it On Breaking, and then I was thinking, like sometimes I do this where I'm like, what would Thea say, or what would Jaha say? And I knew that if I told Thea like, oh, I'm writing this poem called On Breaking, she'd be like, that's not a thing though. So then I stopped writing the poem because I didn't know where to go from there, and that's what it felt like, and that's what I was sure was happening. And then I went back and I revised it, and I shared part of it at Jaha's workshop, I think in June, and then I left it alone again because I didn't want to actually go all the way into it. And then I finished it at some point in June as well, when I was actually ready. And yeah, so this is